What's up, podcast? Before we start today's episode, I just want to make sure that you guys are following and subscribing all of our content at svaofamerica.com/assistance HQ. There you can find all of the latest and greatest content, podcasts, articles, and so much more. The link's going to be in the description, so make sure you don't ever miss a piece of content. It's a whole lot of assistance going on. And now, a moment from our sponsor. What's up, podcast? We're back with another great episode of The Ramblings. I'm your host, Angelo Roberts Jr., and if you're listening, don't forget to ask all of your questions at using the hashtag Let's Ramble. So before we begin, I just want to say, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're never missing an episode. Okay, now that I've gotten that out the way, we are back on track. We have finally sent out our first invoice of the month. It was supposed to hopefully have been sent out last month. However, we're starting it this month. Things are going actually pretty well. So we today finally got the client that we've been talking about officially signed up. They've signed all of the onboarding papers and we've officially onboarded this client and we sent them their invoice. I'm expecting today to be kind of a payday. However, like I said, I never count my chickens before they hatch. So we're not going to put it out there, hope it doesn't happen. So we're going to, hope it happens and everything and keep it from there. So it's been a slow month. It's been a slow beginning of the year. I, counting we as you guys, originally set out to do $1,000 a month from one client, at least one client, or at least $1,000 a month in total in however many clients it takes. I now have been getting at least the one client a month, however, not making that $1,000 mark. So it's been a little bit tough. However, as things start to pick up, the clientele is extremely slow picking up. And with this whole coronavirus thing, it's hard with the budget I have. It's very hard to get in front of the people that I would like to get in front of. So I'm biding my time, saving my money, and allocating where I need to be allocating. So I'm just excited that we're actually going to be getting some influx of money coming in soon, so I can get some bills paid and everything. Other than that, it's moving great. I'm back on creating content on the daily. I literally just finished doing like another mind planning sheet thing. I don't know what to call it. It's a chart. In simple terms, it's really just a chart. And because I'm really trying to bring value now in all of the content and all of the posts that I'm doing, whether it be educational, motivational, I'm really trying to bring some serious value in all of the content that I'm bringing. And it's trying to be curated and contextualized for whatever platform that I'm using and the audience that's on that platform. So I'm really trying to make it much more engaging. So obviously, so more people engage. And as more people engage and get used to engaging with me and my page and everything, I'll be able to ask questions. Hey, what kind of content do you want to see? What kind of questions do you want answered? What do you want me to talk about? What kind of struggles and troubles are you having? What kind of tips and advice can I give? Like I said, I've done this. It's up on the YouTube. We have a spreadsheet, just simple spreadsheet with inventory and everything, but it's definitely useful for some people during this quarantine time. So I'm really starting to make some, serious content moves, getting some more people signed up for co-hosting. Speaking of that, if you are listening to this and you want to be on the episode, just shoot me an email and everything. Just shoot me a DM, whatever you feel like doing. I'm very easily accessible. I'm not a hard to access person. So if you want to share your story or just have a voice and even promote your product on the podcast, let me know. I don't have a criteria really, as long as you can keep it clean and don't cuss, and I can promote your product on my podcast, which would be, it's cool for LinkedIn, then I have absolutely no problem. Feel me? It's more or less about the value that you're trying to bring. And considering that I'm still a small podcast, it doesn't really matter. Like, too many people listen to it, so I can't really be picky with my co-host. Like, I'll take whoever I can get at this point because I just like having people on. It's fun for me. I have a lot of great content coming between this podcast that I have coming up. I have a co-host. I'm not even going to reveal much information about it other than once I have content around that singular like podcast dropping, you're going to know. Because this, like, okay, so the way it's going to be done is it's going to be like an interview, like how I do my interview podcast. However, it's going to be like a debate. I hope that makes sense. It's going to be like we interview each other, gain each other's insights, and then debate topics. So as we record and as I get information and different just content around that one podcast, I'm going to make it a big deal because I really am excited to get this to you guys. Like, it's not even recorded yet, but I have so many different ideas on how this can go. I'm supposed to be recording the podcast tonight. That doesn't mean it's dropping tomorrow, because it definitely won't be dropping tomorrow. However, it should be dropping within the next week and a half, I want to say, because I'm going to be getting content around it and everything, getting a whole bunch of, great, good idea, just good content. Feel me? So I'm excited to be getting that out. I have a kitchen keynote coming, as those of you that have been following and, are paying attention. I have a kitchen keynote coming. That is going to be like my bread and butter. Those are going to be my hour talks. My podcast can reach up to like 50 minutes, sometimes even an hour. I'm aiming for this to be 65, 70 minutes, like an actual hour length feature type of thing. Like, I'm going to be up there talking for an hour. It's going to be like a TED Talk, except from my kitchen. TED Talks. I would call them Tuka Talks, but that's not, that just can't do that. So kitchen keynotes, they are, and when they come, I promise you the value in them is going to blow your mind. Like, I'm not like, okay, so before I even really dive into it, I'm going to be doing a lot more research on speeches, because as someone who I think I'm a pretty good public speaker. I took public speaking classes, communication classes in college. Feel me? Done public speaking. Not uncomfortable with it, but I still just want to see how modern speeches can be given, especially when they're more like lectures or learning environments, or really just TEDx talks. And I kind of think TEDx is the way to say the type of talk I'm saying, because they are very interactive and engaging. I love TEDx's. So I'm going to be watching more TEDx talks to really get a feel for how I'm going to, my talking style and how I'm going to do this. It's not going to be, because I'm going to be able to walk around and everything. I'm going to have cameras. It's going to be ridiculous. Like, when I tell you, it's going to be bigger than this podcast that I have coming up, my first kitchen keynote. Like, it's because it's going to be so much content surrounding it. So these smaller things that I do, I don't really, I'm not going to make a lot of content around them unless I really want to focus on the idea and the message of what I'm saying. And it's like a theme maybe for that week. But outside of that, I'm really not going to put as much attention into my smaller things like the podcast or when I do interviews and everything. It's just because it's going to be there. I'm going to promote it, let you guys know that I have it, maybe do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of content around it. When I say that, I mean like individually per platform. So that can easily almost be like 25 strenuously continuous pieces of content, like one content on TikTok, one content on Facebook, one content on Twitter, and then contextualize it and put it out with it all being based on one piece of content. However, the distribution of it onto different platforms is what would increase that number. So 20 original 3-4 original pieces of content stemming from whatever I'm trying to put out, at minimum. On the grand scale, I'm going to have like 10, 15 pieces of content individually originalized for like my kitchen keynote or for like this particular podcast that I have coming up. So it's a lot going on. And I'm trying to move it, things are going. Summer's approaching. I'm trying to get right. Feel me? So as summer approaches, I'm trying to get my skills down. I'm actually going to lock myself in for the summer. I am going to sacrifice my summer so that I can grow, because by the time, I'm telling you, I started this podcast at the beginning of the year, and I've started doing my lives and everything at the beginning of the year. January 1st, I started going hard, man. Like, let me tell you, I started going super hard. So the issue just happens to be is that I really want it to be at a super advanced spot, like come January. It's still looking like I'm just going to be in an advanced spot. Coronavirus has slowed a lot of things down. However, I'm looking to make a big push this summer. If the bans and everything gets lifted and I'm able to, go to networking meetings. Oh my gosh, I'm tearing this summer up. Oh, I'm everywhere. You can't tell me nothing. I am going all over the place. I'm going every networking meeting that you can think of, whether it be virtual, in person, at somebody's house, at a bar. I don't care how much money I got to spend because I'm going hard. Because with summer, like, I don't know. I love summer, but this dream is more important to me. We were talking about that the other day in the last podcast. You have to want your dream. You have to want it that bad. And as much as I love summer, I'm born in the summer. I don't even celebrate my birthday. I just love being in the warmth and the sun. Like, being from New England, we have the winter and everything, and that is not for me, guys. Like, I'm trying to move to like Arizona or Texas or Nevada or California, Florida, Georgia, a warm state. There's a reason they call Florida the Sunshine State. That's the kind of lifestyle I would like to live in the sun. But it's really making me happy that this summer I'm working for myself, and it's going to be something that I'm trying to grow on a super serious level because I'm out there pushing. So as summer approaches, you're going to see me ramping things up, going hard. The days are super long. Like, if I get up at 5:45, it is not pitch black and dark out. It looks, oh snap, it's morning time out. Do you know how happy I am when I wake up at 5:45 and I see like sunlight? Do you know how much harder that means I have to do my hashtag beat the sun challenge? Like, that's not going to be an everyday thing now because the sun's going to be up early as anything, earlier than me. So 5:45 is still going to be pretty good, even if that's crack of dawn, just as the sun's coming up. That's the kind of thing I want. It's warm. I can work outside. So I'm really focusing on enjoying my summer in a different way. It's going to be nice outside. I'm going to be working outside a lot. Hey, how many people can say that? I'm outside working, Get a small little nice portable mini office set up because my office is portable. I mean, I really just need my laptop unless it's like I'm doing scanning as of right now or cataloging. And I can even catalog outside, get a couple of my sheets and everything, which is what I have to finish up. I got a lot done. However, I still have a lot more to do. I don't know. I'm actually just going to show you. So if you are on the YouTube and you would like to go check out the behind the scenes, I have a lot of stuff to do. Like, all that has to get done. So yeah, I'm really excited for summer. And not even for like the normal thing. Normally I'm excited for summer because it's like, oh, I'm going to do my money right. I'm going to go on vacations. I'm going to go get some new clothes. I'm going to really live my best life and everything. This summer, I'm going to be living my best life, but I'm not going to be going on vacation. I'm not going to be getting new clothes or going out to the best parties or anything like that. I'm going to be allocating all of my money to my business for growth because when summer ends, and my goal is to be moving in August. So, oh my gosh, I have a lot to do. Like, my goal is to be moving out of state in August. So if I have to sacrifice the summer to really grind and hustle and put in the work so that my business is able to at least sustain me on a basic level, then by so means I will be fine with that. But it's the growth, because come January 1st of 2021, it's a different me. I am that's the year I plan for my business to now really start growing legs and flourishing. I plan for this to be a small year. Next year is like where everything starts to happen, like where you start to see it coming together, because this year is my planting of the seeds. I'm planting, watering, tending to my business. Now, as that continues to grow, as it continues to, have time in it, and it continues to grow, I'm going to start flourishing. Everything's going to start coming together. I'm super excited. Like, that's really what I'm excited for in this summer. Even the work I do is easy, kind of like Because think about it, like I'm going to be like when I have to work, because the hardest thing right now is getting clientele. After I get the clientele, the work that the clients have me do is easier than the work that I have to do to get the client. It takes so much for me to get a client. I have to do like promotions, I have to do podcasts, I have to get my name out there, I have to talk to them, I have to do all of this stuff in a certain timely fashion versus the work that they actually have me doing. So, like, we just acquired a client, guys. Do you know what they want me to do? She wants me to data mine. Now, it sounds more complicated than what it actually is. The word, like the phrase data mining, just means I want you to look for information on a sheet of paper. That's it. Data mining. In terms of business, what I'm doing. Data mining is an actual thing. However, it's still a similar concept. All you're doing is looking for information that is important to you or to me. So for example, the most common use of data mining, or the most common use of the term data mining, is in video games or technology, if you will. Because what data mining does in those senses are, I don't know what they're called. I don't want to call them hackers because I don't know if that's what they are, but the people that are able to get into like the files of games and everything, and they're able to look at the content, or they're able to look at the structure of like the actual discs and everything. So they'll do something like look at the Mortal Kombat files and everything and see who the unlocked character, who the secret characters are, who the guest surprise characters are that are coming, and they can leak out that kind of information. All they're doing is reading a file, happens to be a coded file, so it's a different type of reading, but they're reading a file and accessing information and giving, then in turn taking that information, which is the secret characters, what you can unlock, or the secret stages that they're trying to say you have to do, and then bring that information to the people that you need or who would like it, which is the gaming community, and then therefore now it's useful to them. In my particular case, I'm data mining for legitimate businesses. So if this as businesses come into Connecticut, they have to be registered and all this other stuff. I just have to find out if they're a residential or a commercial business. That's it. Go down the list. Is, hey, address, is this the right area? Check. It's in the right area. Is this a house or a business? Business, check. Next place. That's it. See how easy that is? However, in order to get this client, I had to go hard since the beginning of January, go to different networking meetings, do well with another client, get recommended to go to a New Haven BNI meeting, give my speech, give it well, articulate what my message is, and then continuously follow up with whoever I met at that meeting. Not try to push and go, oh, hey, buy from me now. Take them through their client cycle, continue working, promoting, doing my podcast and being out every day. Finally, make the right move, go to another meeting, be seen again the second time by the same person, for them to only call you, take long to sign the papers, and then actually do it. All in the meantime, you have to keep track of everything. You have other things to worry about. All of this is all under one umbrella. All of that to just get the client. And this is what I have to do. Not a lot, but it's easy. And that's why I love what I do. I love what I do because I sit at my computer. I love working on my computer. I sit at my computer all day. I can sit anywhere. So that's another good thing. So if I wanted to be in my car, on the go, on the plane, on a cruise, whatever I need my laptop, as long as I can get in it, I'm able to work. So I can really now make my dream a reality on that. Hey, I just want to wake up and make money on the beach because I'm waking up making money on the beach because I'm able to work on the beach. No one tells you that part. They say, hey, I wake up and I get money just in my sleep and on the beach. But what they don't tell you is they're able to work from home and their laptop is on the beach with them. That's what they don't tell you. So I just want everyone to be happy. I've been talking a while and I'm like, yo, I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited, like this excited for whatever it is that you're doing, if not more excited, whatever you have going on. I hope you're excited for it. This is a great time to be working on yourselves. Like I've been saying this since the beginning of quarantine. This is an amazing time to work on yourselves, whether it be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever way you're trying to work on yourself. Now is the perfect time to do that. You don't have to go anywhere. There's nowhere to really go. Not a lot of distractions. You really have now time to focus on, even if you want to better your relationships, you have that time to be able to work on it. Use this time wisely to your best time, to your best of the ability, whatever is best for you right now, do that. So if you feel like I work way too much, that's a legitimate thing. You can overwork and burn out. So if you would like to say, you know what, I want to avoid burning out. So when the band lifts and I can go back to work, I can keep going hard. Then take this time to relax and have a mental break. But don't kid yourself in saying, hey, I'm using this time to take a mental break. And there's really no reason for you to take a mental break because you haven't been doing anything. You haven't been going hard. Don't lie to yourself. I can't tell you what that is. I can't say if you've been going hard or not. I don't personally know you. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know what you've done, what you haven't done, and where you're coming from. I can tell you, don't lie to yourself. You know, I don't. So I'm telling you, don't lie to yourself. Use your time the best way you think you should be using it. Whether, like I said, it be fixing yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, technologically, trying to catch up on apps, if you're trying to better yourself and learn a skill, if you're trying to be a better parent, fix relationships. Now is a great time to check on people that you didn't have time to check on before. Call them. We have Zoom. Great time to have conversations, meet new people, join a networking meeting, pick up a hobby. With with this predicament and pandemic going on, there are a lot of people negatively affected. However, if you aren't one of those people that are so severely negatively affected that you can find a silver lining, then you find a silver lining. Even if you have been negatively affected, there you can find a silver lining because now there's time and opportunity. There's time and opportunity. People are home. People are home. People are home. Do you know what that means? You can run ads, and people will see them. They're on their phone all day. They're watching TV all day. They're on their laptop, on Hulu, on Netflix, whatever it is that you are trying to do. People will see it now because they are home. There's nowhere else really for them to go. Everything's closed down. Are you taking advantage of that opportunity? Or here's an even better opportunity. Are you taking advantage of everything just being closed? Are you taking advantage of the fact that you don't have anywhere to go, so there's no distractions? You're not working, or you're working from home. The kids are home. No need for a babysitter. The stores are closed. Clubs are closed. You can't go get new clothes. You can't go to the club. A lot of things are just shut down. So you now don't have the distractions to leave your house. So not only are you stuck inside the house, you're stuck inside the house with everything and all the resources that you have available. What are you doing with that time? That's all I'm saying. This is a great time to be fixing yourself. Look at people can get, like, I understand if you were starting a business before this like me and then you went into coronavirus and things started slowing down. I understand that, but this is the time that you have to persevere through. This is the time where you really have to strapple yourself up by the reins and say, this I'm going to make this through, because this time right here is what separates the quitters from the people that don't quit. Because if you go through this, if you decided to say this year, you know what, I'm going to start a business, and then all of a sudden Corona happens, you're like, dang, I shouldn't have started that business. I put money into it that I didn't really have. Why is that your focus? You should be now doubling down, because this is going to happen again. Do you think that this was never, did you think you were never going to experience like some life-changing type of traumatic event such as this? I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry that this had to be your wake-up call, but now it's time to adjust. There's nothing else you can do. It is time to adjust. So use this time to adjust. Use this time to learn. There's always a situation that you can look at where someone who was in a worse situation came up and did wonderful things. There's always someone who was in your situation who has come up and done wonderful things. So what is your excuse? What is your reason for not being successful to your own standards? Screw what everybody else says. We're not talking about being rich and being a millionaire or doing all of these other things. We are talking about what is your idea, what is your vision of success. That could be making $30,000 a year, running your own business, and being the best father full-time that you can be. If you aren't doing any of those things, you're not even successful by your own standards. By your own standards. So really take a look at that. Are you living up to your own standards? Because there's always someone else in a different position that you can say, oh, well, this person did this. Or you could say, well, this person had this advantage or that advantage. How about this? Are you living up to your own standards? Are you living by the guidelines of life that you set? Not anyone else. Are you going by what you set? Because we're all striving to fight the same fight. We're all fighting for happiness. We're all striving to make ourselves smile. We're all fighting for our personal benefit, and that's our motivation. If we're doing this for us, we're all doing this for us. You have to live by your standard and your focus. It's hard. It's hard enough to say, you know what, I'm going to wake up at 5:45 and then actually wake up at 5:45. So it's about you. That's it. It's about you. And I really want you guys to leave with that it's about you. Nobody else, because the world doesn't revolve around anybody. However, each person's individual world revolves around them. Hope that gives you guys a little bit of motivation. Hey Ramblers, before you go, make sure you're following us on social media at Assistance HQ across the board for all content and exclusives. And for an even more personal touch, subscribe to our weekly newsletter with the link in the description.